Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time, and I'm here to share with you my newest tooth powder recipe. I'm always changing things up and trying different things, and with this I decided to get rid of the bentonite clay just to be on the safer side, because you got to be careful about spitting that kind of stuff down your sink. But I did decide to finally try doing diatomaceous earth. Now, I have to admit, I was a little concerned about it, but what I have found since I've been using it is that I like it best out of all the tooth powders I've made so far. So this particular one has 3 main ingredients plus whatever essential oil you want to add. So in this case, what I did, I still like to use baking soda because baking soda has whitening powder. It's really good for cleaning and freshening the breath. The diatomaceous earth, it can be good for remineralizing the teeth, as well as adding a little more scrubbing ability to really get your teeth clean. And then I do still like to mellow it out by adding some kind of starch, either tapioca starch or arrowroot powder. Now, some people kind of have an issue with adding the starch to a tooth powder. I have never found any issue with it, but in fact found that it really helps. It smooths out the baking soda, so some people may find the baking soda to be too harsh, kind of burn their mouth a little bit. Though you can brush with just baking soda, it's great, but if it's too burny, too harsh on the inside of your mouth, then using the starch can help mellow that out. It gives it a smoother consistency as well, and not feel quite so gritty. So again, you got to tailor everything to suit you. I just know I've been very happy with this blend. So in this case, I use equal parts. So when I want to fill up a quart jar, then I want to make sure that my equal parts are going to equal a quart by the time I'm done, which is going to be a total of 4 cups. So in this case, I did 1 1/3 cups of the diatomaceous earth, 1 1/3 cups of the arrowroot powder. In this case, again, you can use tapioca or any other such, and then 1 1/3 cups of the baking soda to equal a total of 4 cups, so I could fill up this jar nicely. Now in this case, I did use the wintergreen oil, and if you're going to add an oil to your tooth powder, I would say it's going to depend on the oil, how hot it is. Peppermint is usually our favorite, but I do like wintergreen out every now and then. But with your hotter oils, you want to be very careful not to use too much. One time I decided to put a little oregano oil in there because it's very good, for helping to fight bacteria and fungus and all that. But it can be quite hot, so I don't recommend that one. Even at just a couple of drops in this much can still be too hot. But with peppermint oil, I'd say about 1 teaspoon to 2 teaspoons. Same thing with the wintergreen. You can usually go a little bit higher with something like, and I'm talking about for a whole quart, with lemon oil or orange oil, 2 teaspoons, I would say, for those, and maybe a little bit more if you like a little more flavor in it. And so it's going to be entirely up to you. So anyway, when I do this, I mix it in a 1/2 gallon jar. What you're going to want to do is, when you measure out your baking soda in particular, it does have sometimes a tendency to clump, especially if it's been in storage for a while. So when I measured it out into my measuring cup, I stuck my hands in there and broke up the clumps first before I poured it into the 1/2 gallon jar. And then I added the other things. And then once I put the oil in, at that point, I prefer to first take along a chopstick, stir it around in there really good to help break up the clumps that it will make when you add that oil. And then put a cap on the 1/2 gallon jar, shake it really, really well, and using different, going up and down, side to side, round and round, to make sure it's mixed really good. I might even take the chopstick, stick it down in there, and mix it some more. Then at that point, I'll use my funnel and top off my quart jar. So every time that I'm going to make a new batch, I just always fill up a quart jar, and then from there, we'll fill our smaller jars. They're just They're just little 1/4 pint jars, which tends to be just the right size to store in a medicine cabinet or on your counter. And then at that point, we just wet our toothbrush, stick it into the powder, and then brush our teeth like that. And that works really well. I've been making and using tooth powders of various different recipes that I've come up through the years for quite a number of years now. I've been very happy with it. And I do want to throw this in as some other options to consider, is that you can brush with just coconut oil alone, but if you also would prefer this in a paste, you can mix the coconut oil in with your powder. Coconut oil on its own can be very cleaning. Again, because it is an oil, it's one of those you want to avoid spitting down the sink, so you want to think about that. But also, another option is activated charcoal. I've used it a couple times when I feel my teeth really need extra whitening. I'll just even use it by itself. I really hate doing it, but it does do an excellent job at whitening the teeth. So if you would like, can also be something you can add to your tooth powder. So just a couple of options out there. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any thoughts, ideas you'd like to share, what are your favorite things to add to your tooth powder or homemade toothpaste, please share those in comments down below. And thanks for watching. Take care and God bless.